Welcome to the Childcare Director's Chair, the podcast for bold educators who are ready to lead, grow, and shake things up in early childhood education. Whether you're a teacher eyeing that lead role, a lead stepping into leadership, or a center owner dreaming big, this is your space to grow with purpose and leave your mark. Hosted by heart-centered leadership coach Erica Saccoccio, each episode brings you real talk, actionable tools, and a contagious laugh or two, all designed to help you step into your next level with confidence. So pour your coffee, pop in those earbuds, and take your seat, because your leadership journey starts right now in the Childcare Director's Chair.
Hello, welcome to the Childcare Director's Chair podcast. For my friends who are new, my name is Erica Saccoccio, and I am the host of today's episode. And for those of you who are tuning back in, you know I love you. Thank you for showing up day after day. Now, I have a couple of shout outs I'd like to say. Hello to Green Bay, Wisconsin, San Francisco, California, the ATL, Georgia, also Buffalo, New York, and Cruton on Hudson, New York, and my friends in Murray, Kentucky, and all the places that are tuning in to our show right now. You know how much I love you. So, a couple questions. I would love for you all to let me know in the text the show notes if you like the bonus episodes that we have been dropping. So I've been traveling all over, meeting other ECE professionals just like you, and having many interviews at so many AEYC conferences over the last couple weeks. And I'm heading to Maine actually in a day or two to do it again. So if you're in Maine and you're going to the AEYC conference, you better come see me at the table. I would love to get a picture with you and have you on a little mini episode. So I want to know in the text the show if you guys love the bonus interviews that I've been dropping in the podcast, or you don't like it and you just want content. So, I make this podcast for you and, of course, my own sanity, because I do need to talk about my feelings and my thoughts about leadership. So, thank you for being part of that journey with me. All right, I'll stop rambling on now and get to today's topic, because I know you don't have a lot of time. I want to talk about leadership from a different angle, one that's rooted in curiosity, humility, and growth. Now, you've probably heard this quote before, but it's one that's been echoing in my mind lately. In his book, Leading Tough Times, John Maxwell shared some wise advice he once received. And it's, before you can make things right, you need to make sure that you see them right. And I was like, wow, that one hits hard, doesn't it? Because too often in leadership, especially in childcare, we rush to fix things. The broken processes, the miscommunication, the staff conflict, and before we've even taken the time to see it clearly. And the only way to see things clearly is to start asking better questions. So today we're going to talk about how to create a culture where questions are not only allowed, they're welcomed. A culture where people feel safe to speak up, share their ideas, and bring their whole selves to the table. All right, I want to talk about getting to a place where questions are valued, right? And you might say, well, of course, Erica, but what about if we valued the questions more than the answers? So let's start there. Great leaders don't always have great answers, but they do always ask great questions. And when we value the questions more than the answers, we give permission for growth. And we make it safe to explore new ways of doing things. And I'll be honest, it takes courage to do that, because as directors, we're used to being the ones who know and the ones who are supposed to have every policy, every solution, every step all figured out. But real leadership is also about curiosity, not control. That reminds me of Becca. We were talking last night and she was like, oh, I just love to learn so much. am so excited about learning everything I can from everyone I can. It's that curiosity within her that makes her an extraordinary toddler teacher. Now, when someone on your team asks, why do we do it that way? I want you to know that's not defiance. And that's something I was talking with Sarah about yesterday as well. That's engagement. That's showing someone that they care enough to understand. So instead of reacting defensively, try responding with curiosity and say something like, that's a great question. Let's look at that together. That's how trust is built. And that's where innovation starts. Because your staff feels safe to ask. They'll start seeing themselves as part of the solution, not just part of the process. And that's a deeper level. And value each team member. Every person on your team brings something unique to the table. An assistant teacher who connects instantly with toddlers, or a floater who notices small safety issues that no one else sees, or the seasoned leader who's got wisdom for days. When you value each team member, not just what they do, but who they are, you tap into a well of creativity and commitment. A question from a quiet teacher might spark a program-wide improvement. Or an observation from your cook or bus driver could save you a future headache. Or honestly, especially the bus driver, a future claim on your insurance. So leaders don't overlook anyone. And the best ideas don't always come from the loudest in the room. Sometimes they come from the person who's just been waiting for someone to ask them, what do you think? And when you show your team that every opinion is welcome and respected, you don't just build a stronger workplace, you're building a community. So before we move on, let me pause right there for a quick shout out to our friends over at Jackrabbit Care who make this show possible. If you've been in the childcare industry for any amount of time, you know that management systems can either be your best friend or your biggest headache. And listen, I'm not going to name names, but those of you that have been in the Facebook groups this week, the groups were on fire with centers who couldn't collect their tuition because their app went down. Parents were frustrated, owners were panicked, chaos all around. And that's why I'm so proud to partner with Jackrabbit Care. They're reliable, they're responsive, and committed to making your life easier. And get this, they're so confident you'll love what they have to offer, they'll even buy you lunch when you book your free demo with our link. So if you're ready to stop dealing with glitches and start focusing on your people, click the link below and set up your demo today. Now, back to leadership. Let's talk about one of the most powerful things a leader can do, and that is believe in someone before they believe in themselves. That is my favorite, 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 favorite part of being a leader. I love watching people grow. And every great team has untapped potential. But potential only grows when it's noticed, when it's nurtured and celebrated. I had such a great time at the CDA conference last week. And while I was there, I bought t-shirts and sashes. Sashes for 5 of my team members who either renewed their CDA or earned their CDA. And I went into their classrooms and I adorned them with their new t-shirts and put the sashes on them and a pin and got them a CDA book and really just gushed all over them because they're just living in excellence and working really, really hard on providing excellence to our students. And so that was really, really important. And that's just an example of how to really believe in people before they believe in themselves. Now, I know the CDA is usually the first step to where they're going, and I can't wait to see where they're going and growing to. When you look at your team, I want you to not just see who they are today, but who they can become with just a little guidance, a little encouragement, and a leader who believes in them. So maybe your assistant teacher has leadership written all over her, but no one's ever told her that. Maybe your shy new hire has creative ideas that could change your entire center, but she's too afraid to speak up. Leaders see the gold in people before others do. They call it out, they invest in it, and they make room for it to shine. When your staff know that you see their potential, they'll rise to meet it. Now, let's be honest, we all love a good idea, but sometimes as leaders, we get caught up in where it came from. If it wasn't your idea, we can unintentionally dismiss it. Or we say, that's great, we'll circle back, and then never do. A wise leader doesn't care who gets credit. They care that the right ideas win. And if someone on your team brings you a fresh approach that can save you time, improve quality, or boost morale, then listen. Encourage them, ask questions, refine it together. When you value good ideas, no matter who they came from, you send a message that creativity is welcomed and leadership is shared. And that's what drives excellence. Not this hierarchy, but collaboration. Now, a questions welcome culture is about more than open door policies. It's about open minds. Here's what it looks like. You model curiosity in your daily interactions. You thank people for speaking up, even when it challenges you. And you make problem solving a team sport. Maybe even go get a t-shirt. And most importantly, you don't just say questions are welcome. You prove it by how you respond. When someone feels safe to ask why or why not, they're met with respect. They're met with thank you so much instead of resistance. When you've done that, you've built a culture that will outlast any one leader. Because curiosity isn't weakness. It's the birthplace of wisdom. So let's circle back to that quote one more time. Before you can make things right, make sure you see them right. Friends, you can't lead clearly if you're not willing to see fully. You can't see fully if you're not willing to ask questions. Value your people, value their ideas, and value their potential. And most of all, value the questions that help you see the center, your team, and yourself a little more clearly. Because the best leaders don't lead from authority. They lead from awareness. All right, my friends, if this episode spoke to you today, please share it with another childcare leader who's ready to build a culture of curiosity and confidence. And don't forget to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps us keep growing this incredible ECE professional community for those of you that lead with a heart. Until next time, keep asking, keep growing, and keep leading with love.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Childcare Director's Chair, where we believe leaders aren't born, they're grown. If something sparked for you today, share it, shout it out, or pass it along to the next bold changemaker in childcare. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and stay connected with Erica Saccoccio for more real talk leadership tools and a whole lot of inspiration. Until next time, lead with heart, grow with fire, and always remember, the chair is yours. Now own it.